Hi, I'm Julie from Truffles and I'm here today with Jane. We're going to talk about how to train your dog to hunt for truffles. Now, you have two choices if you've decided to start truffling. The first one is to buy a pre-trained truffle dog and the other is to train it yourself. If you decide to buy a truffle dog, then it may be rather expensive. They can range from around $2,000 to $6,000, depending on where you are in the world. If you train a dog yourself, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Now, if you buy a truffle dog, it'll probably be a Lagotto Romagnolo. Now, they are easy to train, and so truffle dog companies will usually use them for speed. But you can actually train any dog. As you can see, Jane is a mixed breed dog and we trained her ourselves. It is really quite an easy process. I think the main thing is that the dog needs to be interested in learning, and I think a fairly energetic dog usually works better. Regarding the age of dogs, the oldest dog was I think 12 years old that I heard of being taught to hunt for truffles, but generally speaking the younger the better. Regarding prior training, some basic training such as being able to come when you call the dog's name I think is very important, especially for the dog's safety when you're going outdoors. So if your dog doesn't have any of this basic training, I think you should go back and look at that and then return to this video when you're ready. Truffle hunting encompasses so many of the things that dogs really enjoy, so many of their natural behaviours like running outdoors, sniffing, and dogs of course love digging, so your dog is really going to thank you if you teach it how to hunt for truffles, and also you'll have a great time. Which brings me on to the second kind of thing: what type of person makes a good truffle hunter? Well, obviously you should enjoy being with dogs, being outdoors, and you need, I think, quite a bit of patience to teach your dog, and of course to truffle hunt requires a lot of patience too. So the truffle training is divided into 3 sessions. The first one takes place indoors, the second is outside in an enclosed area, and then the final session is out in the field. You need to make sure that you've mastered each stage before you move on to the next one. Now, it depends on the dog. Some dogs are faster learners than others. You shouldn't let that deter you. As long as you're patient, your dog will learn. So these are like natural behaviours. Now, so the first stage will take place in the house. You don't need much equipment at all. All you need is some truffle oil. Now, truffle oil contains chemicals which mimic the smell of a real truffle. You can buy truffle oil fairly cheaply, and it doesn't really matter which one, whether it's white or black oil. They all contain the chemical that you're training your dog to sniff for. The next thing you'll need is some cotton wool and some aluminium foil, and that's it. So you need to prepare a space indoors, and you're going to introduce the dog to that space. It should be a quiet place, it should be fairly clear with minimal distractions, and the main thing is that the dog is in a place where they can focus. Also, give the dog some time to explore and to become familiar with the area before you actually start to introduce the truffle, so they're not too boisterous, so they're not too hyper. And again, this will depend on the dog. If you have a boisterous dog, don't get them too excited, but if you have a bit of a slow motion dog, then you might need to get them a bit more enthusiastic about the whole process. It's a good idea to do this before you feed the dog, as he or she will be more alert in this way and more keen, of course, to get the snack. The snack should be something that the dog really enjoys. Okay, so we're just about ready to start now. I'm going to bring in Alan. Alan is our young 5-month-old truffle dog. He has already learned these steps, but I'm just going to retrace them with you, and hopefully you can follow them through with your dog and watch this as many times as you need to until your dog's ready. So, before we bring the dog into the training area, it's a good idea to prepare our truffle balls, Jane. Now, we need a bowl of cotton wool and some truffle oil. Now truffle oil is like quite expensive, but this much oil will last you for the whole of the training session. You only need 1 or 2 drops on the cotton wool. Then wrap the cotton wool up in the aluminium foil, so you have a little ball like this. Yes, you can smell it. And we put the foil on so the dog doesn't try to eat the ball and end up choking. So you've got your cotton wool ball. The next thing you need is the snacks. Now the dog isn't interested in truffles per se, the dog is going to be interested in the snacking. Our job now is to get the dog to make the connection between this truffle smell and the snacks which are in this bag. So you can see we have a nice quiet area with very few distractions. So now we're ready for Alan. Alan? Okay, so in the first stage we want the dog to make the connection between smelling the truffle and getting a reward. So every time he's sniffing the truffle smell, he's getting a snack. Mmm. Okay. Oh, bravo, Alan. Sniff this. Bravo, Alan. Once you've mastered the first stage and the dog has made the connection between smelling the truffle and getting the treat, then you can move on to the second stage. Now in the second stage you will introduce the command word. This could be something like, find it, or where is it, or it could be, we're saying die, die, which is like come on. When the dog walks up to the truffle, this is when you're going to give him a treat. And just like keep on doing that again until he gets bored. In the third and final stage, we're going to start hiding the truffle. Now we're going to use this blanket and just put it under there, under the corner at first, and then gradually make the game a little bit more difficult. Every time Alan finds it, he's going to get one of his snacks, and you can carry this on for as long as you want to, as long as it's enjoyable for the dog. Now, Alan, now we're going to hide the truffle under Alan's rug. us again next week where we'll be looking at part 2 of training your dog to hunt for truffles, and we'll be outside. So it's bye from me, goodbye from Jane.